This is what America looks like right now. No, seriously, have you seen American politics? I think this image in my Hearts of Iron 4 game sums up the political landscape. Anyway, this will be my third time playing the American Civil War, and I've only played Trump and Biden so far, so I think it's time I branch out and explore some of the more radical options. And I don't want to hear a word about the communist allegations in the comments. Now I'm going to build all my factories where I'm probably going to be starting. In California. I'm not going to be worried about equipment and stuff for now. I'm just going to put everything on guns. I'm so glad sorting out 92 military factories is actually a pain in the ass. Now, you don't have to do anything special to play as the APLA. You just get the option to before the Civil War no matter what happens. However, I do want to make sure that I get myself into the best position possible, and that is distributing masks in around California, building factories in California, and also funding the movement. There is so much rain outside. Oh my days. Trump fires Secretary of Defense. Bit late. You're about to lose. As soon as Joe Biden won the election, the APLA formed and we get to decide who we want to play as. Here we go. This is it, the line we toe. I chose the APLA, and in a short few months, I found myself in control of 2 small strips of land on the coast of California. Now, being America's only real socialist faction in the Civil War has caused a whole bunch of different left-wing radicals to join our army, which is good and all, except that the fact that none of them can agree on anything. Economically, they all agree on socialism, but the anarchists and Octoberists, or the Marxist-Leninists, definitely don't agree. Don't even get me started on the Jacobian. Medium leftist unity. I'm guessing we have to manage the leftist unity. That's going to be hard. And currently, we don't have a cabinet, so you can see how this is going to cause many problems. But despite all these horrible national spirits, there is one good one, Battle for America, which I'm pretty sure everyone has, so it doesn't really count. Okay, so this is probably the coalition now. Among the coalition are 4 factions. We have the Jacobians, who are economically left-wing but socially conservative, the Octoberists, which are people who just miss the Soviet Union, the anarchists, which don't really need any introduction, you know what anarchy is. Then there's the neo-socialists, who want to keep the constitution in place but build socialism on top of that. Not too sure how any of them work on their own, let alone together, so we'll see. Alright, in terms of our army, we have 176k men. Damn, Starbucks has that many employees? I think putting an anarchist in charge makes a lot of sense, guys. My plan is to turn America into an anarchist state. I mean, they value liberty, so there's their liberty. The Civil War began, and all of our immediate neighbors in California began attacking us. Now, our capital, San Francisco, is surrounded by our enemies, which is kind of concerning, but fortunately, they're just a bunch of really small states. Our biggest problem is going to be the Californian government. Alright, whatever. Oh, North Korea! No way. Cuba, you know we're cooked when we're getting volunteers from North Korea and Cuba. I defeated the 2 rebel groups that were separating our front, so now we have a united front, if you will. And I mean, there was a very interesting mix of rebel groups. Like, a lot of them were just like gangsters. There was like this one gang, it's like Bloods, I think it's called. But I'll tell you, any American gang is nothing compared to the power of the state. It's funny though, because we were barely a few months into the Civil War and our militias began turning on each other. The anarchists and Jacobians began shooting each other. I decided to blame the Jacobians so I could become more anarchist already. The total Congress support is 31.7% and represents how much support we get from all of the combined congressional factors. So now we got to deal with Congress support, which actually determines if we can go down our focus tree. Now, all I have to do is just lobby for the anarchists and neo-socialists because that's who we're putting in power. I struggled to realize this at the time, caught up in the Civil War, and mostly just ignored it, which came to bite me in the ass later. We ended up getting some armor, which is pretty cool, so I have a tank. Yeah, it is. Oh, okay, whoa. So we want to go decentralist. Academic development, here we go. Subsidize higher education. In the meantime, my army was growing ever stronger and I kept pushing the state back, and eventually I was in charge of the entire California. Which is funny because that already makes us stronger than most of the countries in Europe. Okay, we can do the forbidden fruit of war communism and ideologically committed economy. I chose war communism because we need every single thing going towards this war to win it. What is this? The Bloods. Oh my god, we're fighting a gang right now. We're fighting Bloods here. We own the streets, man. We own the streets, yeah, man. We run these streets. You guys don't understand my hatred for gangs. There is nothing more pathetic on this earth than gangs made up of young men and boys that go around harassing innocent people because they think they own the place. Like, dude, you have 3 cents in your bank account and all of your cash is unlaundered. You don't own anything. Anyway, once I had secured control of the entirety of California, I then reorganized my industry. Instead of just guns and support equipment, I want to start producing tanks and more heavier equipment. Victory in Sacramento. Moves capital to Sacramento. Nice. We need some chromium. Anyone willing to trade with us? Anyone. Or Cuba. They'll be. Do they have chromium? Probably not. I forgot China exists for a second. They're happy to trade with us. We have a controversial ally, even among the left. I'm guessing that's the Chinese. Fortunately, one of the biggest powers are on our side and they're happy to supply us. However, we have to be careful of Chinese influence. If we have too much of it, people will just think we're a Chinese puppet and ally against us. Also, in my focus tree, I accidentally went down the centralist economy path, even though I'm going decentralist. Why can't they just label the focus centralist economy path, decentralist economy path? I can actually see what I'm doing. Anyway, we could finally elect who we really wanted as our leader. With 4 options, 1 from each faction, I chose the anarchist guy. We want the Popular Front. We want to go down here and then we want to go down this one. The first Congress, over and done with. And we got no gods, no masters. So this guy, Mark Bray, Commander of Chaos, Division Attack. The militias need training. So I got like my professional army, and then we got my militia army. Decolonization. No way. Are we going to go into like... Wait, are we going to become a bunch of different like states? That's the general idea, to give everyone autonomy if they want it. But there's got to be a point where it goes too far. I mean, I'm not trying to end up looking like the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire. Equality and sovereignty of the peoples of America. The right of the peoples of America to free self-determination. Even to the point of separation and formation of an independent state. And abolishment of any and all national religious privileges, and free development of national minorities and ethnographic groups inhabiting the territory of the United States. Guys, let's just dissolve America. Hell yeah. On the other side of America, our greatest enemy. These two. Now with my equipment getting in order, I was ready to unify the rest of the West Coast. And in the way of that is the Cascadian Republic in Washington. I was expecting this to be a little harder because their terrain is really mountainous. Not to mention, the only supplies in Seattle and the ports. I don't really want to use my planes. I don't think any Starbucks employees know how to fly an F-16. Alright, enforce compliance. That is not very anarchist to me. Enforce compliance. Isn't that the complete opposite of anarchist beliefs? After initial progress in the invasion, my advance came to a screeching halt. I had run out of supply, and my only hope was to get that port right there. Alright, Starbucks employees, let's go to see if you can fly any of these. I don't have an airbase. Oh, I don't have an airbase, I can reach that. Recruit among student radicals, recruit among disgruntled veterans. I would take disgruntled veterans over communist uni students any day. I'm actually regretting not taking the volunteers. I thought this war would be over a lot quicker than it actually has. But anyway, as one of our great acts of anarchism, we are opening the prisons. To be fair, if we put them all on the front line, what can go wrong? Hang on, isn't this what Vladimir Putin is doing, using prisoners on the front line? Anyway, I think the prisoners worked really well, because before I knew it, I was right outside Seattle. Yeah, I'm going to improve the infantry of these National Guard, because they're a bit small right now and probably not the best. That's a lot better. Alright, 500,000 in the army already. That's actually insane. That's really quick. Not only do we have Starbucks employees in our army, but we have also got all of the art majors in universities coming through too. Equipped with our new pumpkin spiced iced lattes, we began the march east. They were not hard to beat, and the only thing standing between me and the rest of America was Donald Trump. Chicano, where is that? I did it. We can now start decolonizing, as they call it, and now we have an autonomous socialist republic. But there's no time to waste, and I immediately declared war on Donald Trump. More volunteers, yes, the North Koreans fighting in America. Now, of course, on my own, I would never beat him, but he's fighting the Union of America, and I think also the Atomwaffen division, so he's got his hands full, which means that I can swoop in and take Denver. But it was too mountainous. The only place that I could push with my tanks was these plains in, like, Colorado, whatever state is north of Texas. I made a breakthrough, and I almost encircled a bunch of units. Get the railway to sneak through here, or raise militia. And then reintegrate Washington. That's more manpower, perfect. As I reintegrated more states, I could raise militia in them, giving myself even more manpower. You know how I said I almost made an encirclement? I didn't finish it because Texas joined Trump and declared war on me, and I was close to getting encircled myself. Nah, this is hard actually. Rest in peace to these Starbucks employees here. The horrors of capitalism awaits. What? I was like, I'm getting my tanks out because they actually could get encircled. And what? How does that even happen? Oh yeah, I did lose all my tanks there. Yeah, that's not too good. I also had the bright idea of putting my best units in the northern mountainous area, and then my low quality militia divisions, you know, the actual Starbucks employees, in Texas and like the areas I'm actually trying to push. However, they did outperform themselves, and they actually started advancing into the heart of Texas. We hold most of the Texas land. If we take Dallas as well, wait, it's gonna be a race to Dallas. Look at this. We got it. And look at that. America. Oh no, that's just America. We could probably liberate a Texas. We'll see. There we go. Texan Autonomous Socialist Republic. I'm worried that they might declare war on me. I might put some militias on the waffles. How many casualties have I taken? Not 100k yet. Not even 100k. How many have we given the most? We've given the majority. As if we have. Wait, no, surely the Union has. Belarus unifies with Russia. There's the 15 Chinese divisions. They've arrived. 15, the tanks included. All right, thank you. Civil war. Look at this civil war that's about to happen. The National versus United Front is insane. Eventually, we made it to right outside Denver, but taking it was a whole nother story. There's like 700 different provinces in that one city, so I couldn't be bothered. Also, keeping them alive to keep pressure on the other guys could be good. One major advantage we have is that we're backed by China. I don't know who's backing the Patriot Front. Russia's not giving them volunteers. However, I got impatient and I ended up taking Denver anyway, which led to a peace deal. This is actually crazy. I've got Texas, I got California, but they've got the whole East Coast. Who wins this civil war? For real, like, it's going to be close. I know California and Texas on one side is kind of OP, but the entire East Coast? I think it's all green, so I'm taking this as it's winning. Unfortunately, this was not the case. It turns out having my militias in the south and my good army in the north was not the way to go. Alright, we should be able to hold that. Am I losing that immediately? No way. Cool, yeah, cool. However, I was able to push in the north because my better army was there, it's just it was a long way to go. I still made it through, however, but when I checked on the south again, it had completely fallen apart. I had to go back and reload another save. This time, I decided to keep Trump's America alive while I switched over my armies. We gotta start pushing. I want to attack them afterwards. We need to find a supply hub. Okay, if we get to Rapid City and build a railroad, that might do it. Look at this one. How do I get this? We need collectivist propaganda to get this. That's a really good national spirit. Any national spirit that gives you attack, defense, and all those other bonuses is worth getting. But I can only get it when I complete a focus, which is 2 focuses away. I don't know why I'm telling you this. It was not a problem. Peasant partisanry, and then we can get the other one. I tried to avoid war with the National Front for as long as possible, but it was inevitable because they declared war on us. Fortunately, I had successfully switched my armies over mid-war, so now my better divisions were fighting the atomic waffles. Now we can get APA mass militarism. Attack, defense, training time. Oh, that's amazing. I pulled off an encirclement around the southern tip of Texas, and this is when the ball started to get rolling. After closing that encirclement, I then directed my forces to take back the rest of Texas. Meanwhile, my militia divisions were holding the Rockies with absolutely no problem. We also have a bunch of propaganda decisions using command power that gives more insane bonuses to our army. I don't really see how we can lose. Stronger together? What is that? No. Hold your hunger? No. Army education? No. Working class welfare? That'll do. Now there's got to be a way we can break through into Houston, 100%. It's all mountains here, though. There's no point trying to push up here. It's all mountains. It's down here that's really important. One Chinese division took that, and then he retreated immediately. The easiest way to deal with the cities is not just trying to attack them. Don't do city fighting. You just encircle them. That's actually the best way to deal with them in this mod. I say this because there's too many goddamn provinces in every city. I mean, you can't even see where you're attacking, so just go around them, I guess. The downside is there's no supply when you do that. You'd have to encircle them and then crush them, but even then, that's hard. Yeah, we're doing fine in the north. This is the strat. I don't know why I was putting my good army in the mountains. Like, what kind of logic is behind that? If I can take this province, actually, and then have 2 tiles attacking Beaumont, that'd be alright. Okay, they do have... My planes are dying, not because they have planes. They have anti-air. My air force was largely being ignored, so I started trying to build it up again, but they're kind of dying to anti-air, and I'm not really producing them fast enough to replace them. So I decided to change that and produce a lot more planes. Hey, okay, we got it. I always have the most war score because I apparently inflicted the most casualties on Trump's America, but I don't even remember doing that. Either way, I was able to get all of the land, which actually resulted in my favor encircling some of the enemy's divisions. Alright, it's officially just me and the... Okay. This is the same position I was in last time. But no, this time it's different because my armies are the other way around. And with an armored spearhead towards Oklahoma City, capturing the supply hub, their front line essentially crumbled. We get the faster guy to go? He's gonna have to pin him. Okay. Okay. My next objective was to secure Denver. I mean, I had it, but it was kind of tedious, so I did a forceful thrust outside of Denver. Alright, this is good, this is good. I'm gonna press go with my good army and see where it takes us. No, good. Alright, another encirclement, perfect. At this point, I had done enough microing that I could just press the go button and advance, so that's exactly what I did. Smash the patriarchy. Gives breakthrough. See, I could get very political here now, but I choose not to. It didn't take long for my troops to reach the first victory points of the National Socialist Movement and the Atomwaffen Division. We're entering Florida. They're starting to capitulate. Of course, the Atomwaffen division is in Florida. I mean, a Florida man has crazy ideas. Oh, who would have thought it was the land of the indigenous? Thank you, Israel, for dragging my ass all the way to see this happen for the 5 billionth time. I'll drag my ass all the way back to America. Take it. There we go. Detroit's ours. 92, 100. Cool. All right, Boston. Are they done? Yes. All right, that's it. Select all. Whoa. All right, we've done it. Socialism finally achieved in America. New regime. Oh. You know, I was expecting the autonomous socialist republics to stay, but no, they just got annexed by us. I guess maybe it only exists in theory. Anyway, we're the Association of American Peoples. It is governed loosely by thousands of communes in towns and cities. However, it's already been criticized as a safe haven for criminals. I mean, can you imagine the rampant drug use that would be going on in this place? Okie dokie, what is next? And you may think we're done, but we're not. Notice how we're called the Free Association of American Peoples, and we are currently in North America. Now, before I could do anything else, I had to get total Congress support, which I didn't have. So the next few years I spent trying to increase my support, but then I was accidentally decreasing it. I didn't really know how it worked because I'm an idiot, and then I finally got it to work and I increased my support. And then this happened. Watch this. All right. No! No! Did you... Oh my god!
No! No! Did you say, oh my god?
I clicked lobby for the anarchists and then the whole thing moved and I accidentally lobbied for the Jacobians. Oh my god! I actually hate this so much. No, I gotta start putting my voice in slow-mo more often. That was hilarious. Anyway, you can only lobby like every 6 months or so, so that mistake alone cost me so much time. Does leftist unity even matter? Where is this leftist unity counter? Like, if I click this, every time I've clicked this, it's gone down. I thought it would give me more support, so I'm not gonna click it anymore. We got 58. We got it. We got it finally. 58.6% in Congress. Let's go. Let's go. We can finally continue down the focus tree. Okay, new anarchist society done. Now we can finally do a liberated America. There we go. A liberated America. Back in business. Now this small tree at the end of the American Civil War is the same for every faction. You can just go to war with Mexico and Canada and probably South America too. I actually haven't done this before, but for the sake of anarchism knows no borders, I'll do it. It was about as difficult as you imagined. I don't have $45 billion. Where do I get $45 billion from? Go. Alright, invading Central America now. We've officially unified North America. This doesn't count. You know, they have to come up with some ideas for content that goes beyond the Second American Civil War. Because I finished the Second American Civil War in like 2028, which is even before the Second European War, so there's definitely time to add content. The problem is, it's kind of hard to come up with ideas once you've unified North America. Sure, you can intervene in Europe and Asia, but that's kind of bland. But it's not my job to come up with these ideas, it's the devs. And there's definitely more important updates they could do rather than just expanding the content after the American Civil War. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.